Runewords can be very powerful additions to your build or even completely game-changing items. Most of the times, builds have some staple items that are used even to the very end of the game, or whole builds can be centered around just one of these. I will see exactly how good or even broken they are if they used by themselves. Rules. I can only use Runewords items for me and my mercenary. In slots that don't have sockets, I can equip white pieces, boots, gloves, belts. I can use charms. No shirt stash. Player count will be changed sometimes to speed up farming process. Run ends with killing Bale on Hell. So what are Runewords exactly? These are specific combinations of runes placed in the items with the sockets. Very important thing is that Runewords will only be working if the item is grey, ethereal or not, and placed in the exact amount of slots that particular runeword require. For example, if you have body armor that have 3 open sockets and you would like to create a smoke runeword, which requires only 2 runes, Nef and Lam, this will not work. You need armor with exactly 2 open sockets. Having said that, runewords only have 4 item slots: 2 hands, body armor and helmet. Other slots do not have sockets, thus cannot be used for runewords. Let's start by picking a class. I will be playing Paladin for this, and now I need to get rid of my starting equipment. I will not have runewords for some time, since the actual lowest level ones are at level 13. These are steel, which requires tier and L and can be done in swords, maces and axes. Second one is nadir, and that is Nef and tier, and it can only be done in helmets. The latter isn't very good, but it is the only helmet option until level 27, but we will get to that. At level 2, let's pick Might Aura, which allows me and my allies to deal increased physical damage. Riveting boxing match in the cold plains against some singular champion, and it seems that her friends decided to help after she died. Not cool, guys, not cool. Backtrack to Den of Evil and let's start clearing. For now, I don't have much power, but this will soon change. Deal with corpse fire and let's move on. Now let's run quickly to Burial Grounds to deal with Bloodraven and getting my sidekick for Act 1, Anor. In Stonyfield I hit level 6, and with that I got the access to what is probably the most broken early level skills in the game: Holy Fire. It's the aura that provides me with additional fire damage for my attacks, and it also deals damage in the area. I also immediately invested into Resist Fire as it has a synergy to Holy Fire. Now let's burn everything in the righteous judgment. Through the underground passage into Darkwood, high five Tree Fist and get the scroll Free Cane. In Black Marsh resides the Countess in the Forgotten Tower dungeon. Countess is the best early source of runes. In normal, she can drop all the runes from L up to Ral, so just farming Countess can give you items that you can literally use for the half of the game. So now, before continuing the run, I need to get some proper supply of runes from her to make a couple of items for me and my merc. Here are the drops from the several runs. Finally, we can move on to Monastery. Since first runeword that interests me is on level 17, let's quickly get to Act 2. Holy Fire is so powerful that I hardly need to do anything. Things are just dying on their own while I am enjoying the views. Slap the smith with my smoldering hands and get the malus. Now through jail and into the inner cloister and straight to the catacombs. Quick Andariel fight, literally 5 slaps and she was dead. And to the next act. In Ludgolen, first I need to hire new mercenary. I choose Wahid for his prayer aura. With that, let's create my first rune word, Malice. I picked up a nice bardiche along the way and let put a rune If El Eth. This is an amazing first weapon for a mercenary. And because I will be level 17 in a moment, I will do stealth for myself, which is Tal F in body armor. Everyone that played this game know that this rune word at this stage is just broken. It would be good if it only had faster run walk, but alongside it, it has faster cast rate, faster hit recovery and bunch more stats. Into the sewers and ding, grab the armor and now I am speed. In Radament's Lair, quickly sweep the skeletons to the closet and get another skill point. Through Rocky Waste to Dry Hills and to the depths of Halls of the Dead for Horadric Cube. On level 3, open the chest and grab the cube and another L rune. In Far Oasis, find the entrance to the Maggot Lair and inside grab the Staff of Kings. Runewords Only Paladin is so strong in normal, he doesn't really need much help from the items. Now to Lost City, into Valley of the Snakes, and Claw Viper Temple. Check the altar and grab the Viper amulet. Now with those, go to the palace and show the guards how to properly do their job. Into Arcane Sanctuary and find a summoner. Normally when you are playing Paladin you would get a scepter and shield most of the time. But there is one rune word that is extremely powerful, and not only for sorceresses and druid, and that is Leaf. Tear and Ral into the staff, and it gives you bunch of skills for sorceress, but also +3 to fire skills, and thus our holy fire hits even harder. Summoner found in the last leg of a sanctuary, of course, and into the portal. Let's find Duriel in Talresha's tomb and teach him some manners. Do a little makeover and bash down the wolf with lightning. Fight took like 10 seconds at best. Monsters are just nuisance at this point. Free Tyrael and sail to Kurast. While looking for Spider's cover, I killed a random elite and got a jade figurine. Now to Spider's cave and grab Kalim's eye. On the way to Flayer's jungle, I encountered Burning Souls, but Holy Fire doesn't care. It has an aimbot and destroys everything. Grab the bonfire, light the fire and get Gitbin, and run into Flayer's dungeon. In level 3, Witch Doctor Endugu is the only one that can withstand my power, but not the power of my mercenary spear. Grabbing the brain and moving on. The aura is incredibly powerful, that every fight looks like this. It's just doing 360 no scope, closed eyes with the bazooka and clearing the screen while I am running, watching Netflix on the second screen. I entered Ruined Temple in Kurast Bazaar to get Lamb Essence Tome, and I didn't even realize that Battlemate Sarina died on my entrance. Didn't know I am that dashing. Got through half of the sewers before I found level 2, opened the chest and grabbed the heart. Activate portal in Travinkal and deal with the council. In record time I got into Duran's level 3 and now to defeat the Lord of Hatred. Even though he hits pretty hard with my current setup, he has no chance in this fight. Grab the Soulstone for later and onward to Pandemonium's fortress. Fire damage in Act 4 is not the best one, even in normal. Most of the monsters have high resistance to it. But the righteous fire burns bright, and I can still run through hell unwavered by the demons. Now look for Isual in Plains of Despair and give him warm welcome. Very warm. Although I have hard time hitting him with my staff, damage is still enough to wear him down after a moment. Right out of the gate in the City of the Damned there was a portal and entrance to the River of Flame. And again, just around the corner was the Hellforge. Dispatch Hephasto and quest gave me a full rune, which will be immensely useful in Nightmare. Into the mouth of terror we march, and eventually we arrive at Chaos Sanctuary. I had to revive Wahid to deal with Grand Vizier of Chaos as he is immune to fire. Unfortunately, Merc died to Lord Disease, but I quickly avenged him. Break last 2 seals and try not to die to Infector of Souls. Diablo is more of the same at this stage. Hit him whenever possible and try not to die to Lightning Breath as my resistances are not great. Break the siege by killing Shank and break the Eldritch just because. Going through the Frigid Highlands, I found an Ort rune and I was hoping to get it from the quest here. Quick stroll through the area to free those clumsy barbarians and get the reward in town, which is the access to Barbarian Merc and of course Ral Ort Tal runes. One of the main reasons I picked Paladin for this run are his class-specific shields, and previously mentioned runes make one of the best early game rune words, Ancient's Pledge. Massive amount of defenses and resistances in one item. Slap Fresh Socket out of the existence and to Crystalline Passage. Now let's find Anya in Frozen River, of course, for most altruistic reasons and not that 10% to all resistance rewards from Mala. Not at all. Melt Frozenstein and then Anya's legs. I also found another Fall rune on the way. Grab the portal in Frozen Tundra and now let's cleanse Nilatak's temple. Greet the doorman with the staff to the face and go inside. Betrayer is found in level 3 and more or less melted on the site. Along the way to the summit I found a Shale rune. Madoc died without even touching him, just damage from the aura. Then Korlik and Talik died almost at the same time. I swiftly found myself in Throne Room, so let's just clear this difficulty. Minions of Destruction took some time as they were just regenerating and they had a lot of fire resistance, but eventually I wore them down. Last hurdle of this difficulty is Bale, and it is just more of the same, just hit him where it hurts and he is done. Now quick look at my gear and build by the end of normal. Let's quickly do the necessary stuff. So nice and easy Den of Evil for additional skill point. Because I found Burial Grounds first, I did the Blood Raven. Although Cain isn't really needed in Nightmare, I stumble across the Tree of Inifus and grab the scroll and freed the old man. Now similarly to normal, the Forgotten Tower and Farming Countess. In Nightmare she can drop runes from L to Ko. On level 3 I drop something amazing, an Io rune. This will be incredibly useful in couple of levels. And then I find another one in the random chest on level 5. Again, here are my drops from the runs. With Soul Rune I am able to create Lord Runeword with Helmet, and for the level 27 this is kind of broken. It would be good only if it had +1 to skills, but it also has resistances, some mana and much more. Onward to Monastery and Andariel then, hoping to grab more runes and bases along the way. Unfortunately for me there were no notable drops, so to the boss. Andariel's crippling vulnerability to fire makes her an easy target. Couple of hits and she is done. Straight to the sewers I go for another skill point. Radament was actually fire enchanted and killed me upon his death. No matter, still got the book. Now for Maggot Lair, grab the Staff of Kings and burn everything around me. Another Doll rune found in a Claw Viper temple and Viper amulet grabbed from the Salamanders. I found Summoner in third path and he almost died off screen to aura damage. It took me a couple of minutes to find the right chamber that leads to Duriel, but now to the fight. This took a good while, because of the freeze from his aura and enormous amount of damage. But I've done some laps around him and couple of trips to town, and Duriel was down. He also dropped unique ghost armor, which is Spirit Shroud. My damage at this point was falling off a bit, so I need to either change my gear a bit or rebuild. I decided to go back to Countess and farm some more runes to make more powerful rune words. On the way there, I found a unique war hat, Peasant Crown. I got Tal Ord Hell from the first run. On the way to the second run, I got a long sword with 4 open sockets, perfect for spirit. I just need to get the runes now. Another Tal drop, and then Dol and F. Finally, an Am rune, but I need couple of more runes. Before next run, let's do our spirit sword, Tal Thul Ord Am. And yes, perfect, 35% cast rate. This is one of the most busted rune words that exists, and most likely I will just carry it onto hell. Here are the rest of the rune drops from the runs. Unfortunately for me, I didn't find any more soul runes, or just any more good bases. But this is a decent start. Now I need to go fast through this act, so kill the elite and grab the jade figurine. Although Sazark has the burning title, he had a cold aura, and for some reason it was really funny to me. Got Kid Bean before delving into Flayer's dungeon, and there I grabbed the brain. Next to Ruined Temple for Lamb Essence Tome, and just next to it was the entrance to the sewers. Since the sewers spout with dolls, I quickly got the heart and bolted from there. In Traveling Call, I pulled some of the council members outside to deal with them in smaller numbers. Vile Hand dropped a flail and also a unique poleaxe, Battle Branch. In level 3 of Durance of Hate, a superior heraldic shield dropped with 4 open sockets, and that means another spirit. Shame it didn't roll with all resistances, but this is great nonetheless. I should have put at least 1 point to Zeal, as bosses are just black hole in terms of time consumption, but a bit of standing in place and grunting and Mephisto was down. So, the time has come. Holy Fire is now basically ineffective against half of the monsters in this act. I need to respect. I respect to the Fist of the Heavens, so let's see how well it can do. Fist of the Heavens calls down a bolt of lightning on the target and sends out a spray of holy bolts that hits only demons and undead. I guess it will do, but I really need an insight polearm for my mercenary. I thought that Isuel was a demon, and it seems that I was wrong, and neither Fist or Holy Bolt is not very effective against him. In the River of Flame we stumbled across the Hellforge and dealt with Hephasto. Unfortunately, Quest only gave me a Shale rune. Thanks to the power of the Fist, clearing Chaos Sanctuary is a breeze. No monster is safe from me in this place, so Diablo's brightest and mightiest just fell under my rule. Diablo himself wasn't any different. Couple of holy bolts to the face and fight is over. Unfortunately, Bloody Foothill spawned with no demons or undead, but fortunately Shank is a demon, so Holy Bolt can quickly track him down. Because I am only using rune words, freeing barbarians in Frigid Highlands will actually be beneficial in Nightmare. After some time and tedious clearing of the frozen river, I managed to free Anya from the grasp of Frozenstein. Ancient Sway graced me with demons and undead, and it was just beautiful slaughter. Ancients themselves were not really any challenge at this point. Not even Lister and his minions of destructions were able to stop me in my pursuit. Bale had really only one advantage, mana burn, but that did not help him to stay alive for long. Again, my gear for Nightmare. Beginning of hell, I have some supply of runes, but I am still lacking soul runes to complete Insight and Bulwark rune words. I would also need Lamb to smoke body armor, and most of all, I do not have bases, so you know what time it is. Countess time. But first things first, Den of Evil. In Darkwood I found a Mal rune, highest rune so far. Perfect, portal just near the tower. I quickly backtracked and freed Kain, and now back to the tower. On the run to the Countess, a heraldic shield drop with 3 sockets and 35 all resistances. I got triple Tal rune drop on the first run. Demon head with 3 open sockets found in a tower on the way to Countess. What a horde! From the second run, Tal, Ral, Soul and East rune dropped. I got really good bunch of drops from additional runs, and here you can see them. I still do not have base for Insight, but I can make several upgrades for me and my mercenary at this point. First, a body armor for me. Hustle. Shale, Ko and Eld. Next, helmet for me. Mostly for cannot be frozen. Hearth. Shale, Io, Full. And last but certainly not least, Bulwark helmet for my mercenary. Shale, Io, Soul. This got to be one of my favorite rune words in the game. Physical damage reduction, health and life per hit stolen. Just perfect. With those upgrades I went straight for Andariel, trying to be on a lookout for more items. In jail level 2 I found a Lamb rune, perfect for smoke rune word if I manage to find a good base for it. So now into the inner cloister and down to catacombs to finish this act. Bosses are not really any threat at this point. I could even keep my mercenary alive if he had better armor and weapon, but oh well. As per usual in Act 2 I am going to the sewers to smite down Radament and get another skill point. Now for the greatest hits. Maggot Lair, or so I thought. My build is really bad in this place, and my merc does not hit hard enough, so I will skip this for now. So I went for the amulet, dispatched Fangskin and his minions from a safe distance, and grabbed the amulet from the altar. I backtracked to the pit to find some items needed to end this run, and I found a white Colossus Vulture that will be able to socket with 4 sockets guaranteed at Larzuk. Perfect. 2 open sockets Scarab Husk. So I did smoke in the armor and added the sockets to the weapon for the inside, but oh, I actually didn't check the requirements and Wahid cannot wield it. I guess I really need to find something that I can use. I found a white plus 36 to all resistances Aerin Shield. Another notable find is Titan's Revenge Javelin. And there's also very nice drops. Javelin Skiller, Defensive Aura Skiller. I used another socket quest for my Aerin Shield with 4 open sockets and did another spirit. Finally, I have found 4 open socket Mancatcher. Wait, it's a spear. God damn it! Suddenly, 2 white threshers drop at the same time. Problem is, I do not have any Amn runes to socket them. Steel Carapace drop. Rather rare armor. And another Ko rune. This at least gives me a chance for another hustle in weapon. But again, I do not have a base. At long last, I have finally found a great poleaxe with 4 open sockets. and I was able to do my insight that my merc can actually use. Now he hits like a truck and restores my mana thanks to meditation aura from the inside. Beetles were the main reason I wasn't able to progress through the lair without changing the build, but now Wahid is clearing the way for us. Together we trudge into level 3 and grab the Staff of Kings for the last time. Now, unless I got some spectacular rune drop, this run should be over pretty quickly. We navigated through the Arcane Sanctuary, into Talrasha's tomb, and just like that we were able to fight the Duriel. He was down in seconds. He cannot kill my mercenary due to constant healing from Holy Bolt and his self-sustain. Run through the spider's cave and grab the eye. On the way to the next part I found a jade figurine for that sweet 20 maximum life. There was not really a point to get Gitbin, but it was on the way, so why not? We located Kalim's brain in level 3 of Flayer's dungeon and secured it. Game is not giving up that easily, so I had to scour almost the entire map of sewers to find level 2 and the Kalim's heart. Now to the council, and the problem is that I don't have much fire resistance, and they are mainly using Hydra spell, which is dealing only fire damage. Let's see if we can kill them faster than they will kill us. That wasn't so bad. Although Wahid didn't make it, I was able to wear them down pretty quickly, and they dropped the Marrowwalk's boots. I found a way to Duran's level 3 surprisingly quickly and mowed down Mephisto as if he was just another demon to the path of glory. Act 4 is a playground for Fist of the Heavens Paladin. Almost everything here is either demon or undead. Everything except Isual, but even he died like a dog he is. I had to backtrack to locate Hephasto in the River of Flame, and Hellforge gave me an Amrun. With that done, we only had Chaos Sanctuary to clear and Diablo to kill. Like in Nightmare, clearing this place is pure joy. Monsters dropping left and right, and even with my almost non-existent resistances, this is not an issue. Diablo's best, Grand Vizier of Chaos, Lord the Seas, and Infector of Souls dropped in seconds. And Diablo himself didn't last long either. The last step of the journey of the Rune Master. Damn, what a find! An ethereal edge from Dag Faren. I wanted to finish this, so most of the time I was just running without killing anything until I could fight the ancients. We did a little detour to Frozen River as I just found that first, to get Anya and much needed resistances boost. In no time we managed to reach Ariad's summits and ancients themselves. Several resets and nice! Only Madak is lightning immune. A little bit of back and forth and Korlik and Talik fell almost at the same time. I left Madak to Wahid mostly, since I wasn't doing much damage to him. In Worldstone Keep I had terrible monsters spawn, but that hardly mattered at this point and I just ran past most everything. Throne of Destruction had the worst monsters this game has to offer. Serpent Magus, Hell Witches and Burning Souls. Although my mercenary was taking quite a beating from the hordes of hell, we were still able to purge Bale waves with no real danger. Bale's death was just a matter of time. He was a bit tanky, but we were not really threatened. In the end, he just died like any other demon. And here is the gear I used in the end of the run. I am not sure what the conclusion is here. Is it that runewords are broken, or the paladin needs little to no equipment to be powerful? I am missing more half of my gear and I was still able to clear hell with relative ease. Nevertheless, runewords rank from borderline unusable like Nadir to extremely overpowered like Enigma. In single player though, it is really hard or almost impossible to find some high runes to create the best items in the game. Still, Runewords that I used in this challenge were very much obtainable, and usually you can just use them all the time, or in some cases they are the best in slot. I could probably finish this earlier if I changed the build, but Fist of the Heavens is just very fun to use, and Hammerdin has been done to death. Thank you very much for watching. Consider leaving a like and a comment, subscribe if you want more challenges, and until the next one, Challenger departs.